What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another Major League Baseball video. We're going to talk about something pretty spicy today because if you guys do not have a social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you probably don't know, but the conversation for American League MVP is so debatable that it's actually kind of annoying when some people say Alex Bregman is the MVP or Mike Trout or even someone like Marcus Semien. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down every single player and we're going to try and convince you guys watching right now that Mike Trout is not the MVP this year. But make sure you guys watch the entire video because you don't know who I'm going to pick. I'm going to tell you who I would vote for MVP at the very end of this video, so make sure you guys stick around until then because, yeah, it might surprise you. If this is your first time on the channel, we talk about baseball every single day, so make sure you guys subscribe. And also, if you want to see a part 2 to this video where we talk about Christian Yelich not being the National League MVP, let's try and get this video to 1,000 likes. Also, if you're going to any playoff games, hockey games, football games, anything like that, use code Fuzzy to save $20 off on SeatGeek. It's pretty much a free ticket. And I think at this point, everything's out the way. It's time to start talking about our first candidate, Austin Meadows. A lot of you might be thinking, Austin Meadows, like, isn't that guy really bad on defense? Now, I will give you that. Austin Meadows is one of the worst defenders in baseball. If we take a look at his stats, he had a negative 10.3 defensive rating. Now, this is coming from Fangraphs. All of the stats from today's video will be coming from Fangraphs, so that's kind of like the sabermetrics heaven. An average defender has a 0 rating, so he was negative 10.3. He was one of the worst outfielders, if not the worst outfielder in all of Major League Baseball. But without a doubt, Austin Meadows in the batter's box clearly made up for his defense miscues because in 2019, this guy was an absolute monster. He had 21 home runs and a 982 OPS in the second half. He was one of the best offensive players in the month of September, so he was one of the bigger reasons why the Rays, they were able to make the AL wildcard. And yesterday, we saw them beat the Oakland A's, so the fact that you have Austin Meadows, who is now in the playoffs, and the Rays are a playoff team. I'm not sure if they've already voted for the MVP. I could be wrong when saying I don't think they have, but in my opinion, I feel like you have an even better chance to get those MVP votes on your side. And also, the Rays, they had a 600 win-loss percentage in the second half at the same time that Austin Meadows was going off. So I wanted to talk about him real quick. I don't think he's going to win because of his defense, but Austin Meadows in the batter's box, he's an MVP. Now, one player that I'm sure most of you have on your MVP ballot, whether it's number 1, 2, or 3, I know that he's going to be in there in the thick of things. LeMahieu, the first baseman, second baseman, third baseman. I think he also played shortstop for an inning this year for his new team, the New York Yankees. LeMahieu, he was a difference maker considering the Yankees led all of baseball in injuries with 30 players on the IR this year. LeMahieu was the one guy that you could count on. He had a 327 batting average. He just missed 200 base hits. He had 197 on the season. He also added 26 home runs, 102 RBIs, and an 893 OPS. So his OPS wasn't as high as Austin Meadows. He's not as lethal, but I can tell you that you do not want to face LeMahieu at Yankee Stadium. So all you Astros fans, all you Twins fans, if you face the Yankees, LeMahieu is going to be in your way, not just in the batter's box, but with his glove and arm as well. Playing first base, second base, and third base, LeMahieu actually had an above average defensive season at all of those positions. So I definitely think he is one of the most complete players in the American League. Is it going to be enough to beat Mike Trout? Is it going to be enough to beat Austin Meadows? I definitely think he's going to be top 3. There's also 3 other guys aside from LeMahieu we're talking about. Mike Trout, obviously, Alex Bregman, and then Marcus Semien. He's going to get some votes too. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and focus on Alex Bregman, who in my opinion has the best chance to dethrone Mike Trout. Alex Bregman played in 156 games, and the stats that he put up, the last 4 times that a player put up the stats that Alex Bregman did, all 4 of them won MVP. We're talking about Albert Pujols, and Barry Bonds did it 3 times, so he's in Pujols and Barry Bonds conversation. Yeah, Alex Bregman, I would say he was all right this year. If we break down his stats, at 25 years old, Alex Bregman had one of the better offensive seasons that a third baseman has ever had. He had 122 runs, 41 ding-dongs, 112 RBIs, and an insane 1,015 OPS. And oh yeah, the stat that I was talking about, so he also had 119 walks to 83 strikeouts. So the last 4 times that has been done, where you have 40 home runs, 110 walks, and less than 90 strikeouts in a single season. Again, it's Albert Pujols, Barry Bonds did it 3 times, and they all won the MVP. Now, the one thing that Alex Bregman does have going for him that Mike Trout does not is Alex Bregman was a pretty good defender this year. Now, if you guys take a look at this chart right here, now again, this is coming from the website Fangraphs. I really like to delve into the statistics and the analytics behind baseball. I know some of you are like, just show me my average, show me my home runs. But I think in this case, it does help out because Alex Bregman had a 4.8 defensive rating. So if you take a look, the average defender has a 0 rating. So he was above average. I truly think that that is going to help Alex Bregman. Now, the one thing we'll talk about it later is Alex Bregman's lineup was so much better than Mike Trout that when Mike Trout put up these stats, we're going to talk about it right now. This guy's unreal. He's absolutely mythical. And also for those of you that care about WAR, I know a lot of people like the WAR stat. So Austin Meadows, he only had about a 4 WAR because his defense was so bad. LeMahieu had a 5.4 combined WAR, so that was defense and offense combined. And then Alex Bregman had a 6.6 WAR according to Fangraphs. So when we say that Mike Trout had an 8.6 WAR, oh my gosh. One thing about Mike Trout that is both a pro and a con is the fact that this guy put up unreal stats while not being all that durable. He still played in 134 games, so I would consider that a successful and kind of healthy season. He only missed about 30 games, whereas Alex Bregman played 156 games. So Mike Trout in 20 less games, 22 less games than Alex Bregman. He had more home runs with 45. He did not rack in as many RBIs, and that's simply because he didn't play as many games. And also the lineup for the Angels, I mean, when your best hitter is Shohei Ohtani and then he goes down with injury, and then you have Cole Calhoun and Albert Pujols, it's not as lethal. But the fact that he drove in 104 RBIs, he had a 1,083 OPS, and he also walked 110 times, and he chipped in 11 stolen bases. Now, the one thing about Mike Trout that we have to talk about is I know that he has a pretty good arm. He showed off a 99-mile-an-hour throw, and he makes some pretty flashy plays out in center field, but his defense was actually not that great. Now, again, I know that he makes flashy plays and he gives the impression that he is one of the better outfielders in baseball, but let's be honest, the stats are there. He is not even a top 5 center fielder, so let's just put that out there. I'm not hating on the guy because Mike Trout is easily one of my favorite players, but when you take into consideration that he still had an 8.6 WAR when his defensive rating was at a negative, I mean, that's how special Mike Trout is. But let's talk about one more player who actually had an MVP season, and no one's really talking about him. Now, I know the Oakland A's were just eliminated by the Tampa Bay Rays, so I'm sorry if this feels like I'm pouring salt into the wound of A's fans. Just that's life if you're a sports fan. I get 3-1 comments all day long, so it's nothing personal. It's just you have to talk about it. But Marcus Semien, this guy was one of the better complete players in all of baseball. I'm not even talking about just the American League, but the entire league. If we take a look at his stats offensively, he played in every single game this year, 162 of 162. He had 123 runs, 33 home runs, 92 RBIs, and an 892 OPS. So that's just in the batter's box. This guy had a 14.1 defensive rating. Now, again, I'm going to throw up the chart right here so you can see just how good he was. He was almost elite, and that's why you have to put him in the conversation for MVP because the A's, they technically made the playoffs even though they were knocked out in the wild card, but with a combined 7.6 WAR, that is 1 full point higher than Alex Bregman. I think that Marcus Semien is probably going to get some votes, so in my opinion, there's not going to be any unanimous MVP in 2019. So now we've talked about Austin Meadows, LeMahieu, Alex Bregman, Mike Trout, and Marcus Semien. Who's my pick? The final argument that I have to make is we have to decide if this award is the most valuable player or if it's the best teammates award, because let's be honest, Alex Bregman, I love the guy. He is so special, one of the best third basemen, one of the best younger players, because he did all this at 25 years old. He is honestly on a track to be a Hall of Famer. I think that lineup, because if we take Alex Bregman out of that lineup and put him on the Angels, I don't think he has the same season that Mike Trout had for his own squad, because imagine this lineup right here. George Springer, Michael Brantley, Mike Trout, Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, Yuli Gurriel, Carlos Correa. You have Josh Reddick as your number 9 hitter. So I think that honestly, if you plug Mike Trout into that same lineup, you have a 50 home run, 130 to 140 RBIs, because let's be honest, Mike Trout doesn't have any protection in that lineup, so he doesn't get the best pitches, but he golfs pitches out for 450-foot home runs. He can really hit any pitch that he wants. He walks a lot. Now, he does strike out a whole lot more than Alex Bregman, but when he hits the ball, it makes a bigger difference than Alex Bregman. That's just my opinion, though. So my pick for the 2019 American League MVP, I know I kind of fooled you you guys at the beginning, I told you it was going to be a surprise. Alex Bregman for sure made it close, but Mike Trout, considering what he had with his lineup, I think that he is your pick for 2019 MVP. But let's quickly make the argument for Alex Bregman for all of you Alex Bregman stands out there. A lot of people might argue the fact that Mike Trout did not make the playoffs, so he should not get a lot of votes for the American League MVP. But in my opinion, that's an antiquated argument. The fact that you can't win the MVP if you don't make the playoffs, I just think that doesn't make sense, because that's like saying Felix Hernandez back in the day doesn't deserve the Cy Young Award with a 2.1 something ERA because he had a 13-12 record. Sometimes your team is just really awful, but the Angels, they would have won 30, 50 games without Mike Trout. I know that Alex Bregman had an amazing season with the 40+ home runs. He had stats that we haven't seen in quite some time, because the last 4 guys that had his same stats, they all won the MVP. I just think that Alex Bregman, he was born in the wrong generation of playing, because Mike Trout, he's going to be a 6-7-time MVP, and I'm not afraid to say that. Mike Trout is the best player in baseball, and it's not even really close. So thank you all so much for watching. If you agree or disagree with my picks, let me know in the comment section down below, because I know Mike Trout is not the best defender, but his offense is that great that he carries the Angels to 8-9 wins a season without the help of Yordan Alvarez and George Springer and Jose Altuve. So that's my opinion. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, and I will catch you guys for part number 2 if you want to see it. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Christian Yelich might not be the 2019 NL MVP for some of the same reasons that we talked about in this video. I'll catch you guys there. Peace out.